Before I start, tell me in the comments, do you believe this was a tragic accident or a crime that powerful people covered up? Watch till the end, because what happened inside that cafe still doesn't make sense. Picture this. It's a quiet evening inside a small cafe. The kind of place where people relax after work, sip coffee, and scroll their phones. Soft music plays. Cups clink. Everything feels normal until screaming cuts through the room. People look up and see something impossible. A young woman runs down the stairs, completely covered in fire. Not a small flame. Not a spark. Her entire body is burning so intensely that her face can't even be seen, only the shape of a human in pain. It looks like a scene from a horror movie. But this wasn't fiction. On March 1st, 2016, in Shanghai, China, a 23-year-old idol named Tang Anqi was set on fire inside a cafe. Within seconds, her body was severely burned. What happened upstairs that night would become one of the most disturbing celebrity mysteries in China. But before we get to that night, you need to know who she was. Tang Anqi was born in 1992 in Anhui province. She wasn't famous at first, just a normal girl with a dream to stand on stage and be seen. In 2013, her dream came true when she joined SNH48, a massive idol group based on the Japanese AKB48 system. These groups weren't just about music. They were built around fan connection, daily theater shows, fan voting, rankings. If fans loved you, you rose. If not, you disappeared. Tang Anqi worked hard. Within months of training, she made her first stage appearance. Soon after, she became an official member of Team NII. She wasn't the most popular idol, but fans loved her for her personality. She was tall, gentle, and always smiling. Supporters called her an angel. She dreamed of shining on stage, even if she wasn't in the front row. Then came March 1st, 2016. That evening, Tang Anqi walked into a cafe with another woman. Witnesses later said she seemed upset, agitated, and tense. They went upstairs and sat at a table located in a blind spot just out of reach of security cameras. An argument broke out. Minutes later, she came running downstairs in flames. Emergency services were called. Customers fled. A fire extinguisher was used. But it was too late. Tang Anqi suffered burns on 80% of her body. Doctors rushed her into intensive care. She was alive, but barely. Her company confirmed the incident and begged fans to donate blood. Dozens of fans showed up immediately. They changed their profile pictures to messages like, "Get well soon, Angel." At first, police said she was burned after a dispute. Later, they changed their story. They claimed it was an accident. But the evidence didn't sit right with anyone. And that's where the story truly begins. Next part, we'll uncover what police said caused the fire, and why scientists, witnesses, and even TV experiments proved it made no sense. Was this really an accident, or something far darker? While Tang Anqi lay unconscious in intensive care, the police began their investigation inside the cafe. Officers noticed something strange immediately. The table where Tang had been sitting was located directly under a security camera blind spot. Whatever happened between her and her companion before the fire was never recorded. Only the aftermath was visible, her running downstairs, already burning. At first, authorities described the incident as a woman being set on fire after an argument. That wording spread quickly online. People assumed someone else had done this to her. But then, just days later, the story changed. Police released their official conclusion. It was an accident. According to them, Tang Anqi had been playing with a lighter after arguing with her companion. The lighter fluid, supposedly spilled onto her coat, which ignited. Her clothes, described as a down jacket and stockings, were said to be highly flammable, allowing the fire to spread rapidly across her body. Case closed, except no one believed it. Think about it. A lighter, a little fuel, inside a cafe. Could that really cause burns over 80% of a person's body in seconds? Chinese media didn't think so either. A major news program conducted an experiment. They tested stockings similar to the ones Tang was reportedly wearing. They held flames to the fabric to see how it burned. The result? The material didn't instantly catch fire or spread quickly. It only burned where the flame touched. Then internet users took things further. A popular science account recreated the scenario using a mannequin dressed in similar clothing. They even poured alcohol on the coat to simulate spilled lighter fluid. When they lit it, the fire spread slowly. There was time to react, time to pat it out, time to scream for help before being fully engulfed. But Tang Anqi didn't have time. Witnesses said she was already completely on fire when she ran down the stairs. That made people ask new questions. If her coat caught fire first, why didn't she use it to smother the flames? Why didn't the fire start small and grow? Why did it appear instant and total? Comparisons made the story even stranger. A famous actress injured by a pyrotechnic malfunction on a film set had burns on about half her body. A factory explosion victim had burns covering around 70%. Those were industrial-level accidents. Yet Tang Anqi, in a quiet cafe with a lighter, suffered worse injuries. Something didn't add up. Meanwhile, articles questioning the official explanation began appearing online and then disappearing just as fast. Posts vanished. Threads were deleted. Videos were removed. People noticed. If it was just an accident, why erase the questions? SNH 48's management soon released another statement, calling all alternative theories false rumors and telling fans to stop speculating. But by then it was too late. Doubt had already spread, because there was something even more disturbing than the science. Witnesses were starting to talk. In the next part, eyewitnesses reveal what they claim they saw upstairs, and their story sounds nothing like an accident. Was Tang Anqi really playing with a lighter, or did someone pour something on her and strike the flame? As doubt about the official story spread, something even more powerful entered the conversation: eyewitness accounts. Several people who claimed to be inside the cafe that night began posting what they saw, and their stories painted a much darker picture. One woman, let's call her Witness A, said she was seated nearby when the argument happened upstairs. She described Tang Anqi as crying and visibly distressed. According to her, the companion suddenly stood up, poured a liquid over Tang's body, and then lit her clothes on fire. Not accidentally, not by mistake, deliberately. Witness A said the flames exploded instantly, not slowly. Tang didn't have time to react. She ran downstairs already fully engulfed. Another witness backed this up, saying the fire spread in less than a second. That detail mattered. A normal lighter couldn't do that. For fire to explode that fast, it would need a strong accelerant, something like kerosene or gasoline. Then a disturbing detail surfaced. Multiple people claimed the companion did nothing while Tang burned. She didn't scream. She didn't try to help. She didn't throw water or grab a fire extinguisher. She reportedly just sat there and watched. A short video clip circulating online seemed to support this. In the blurry footage, two people are seen standing near the staircase while Tang is burning. Neither rushes forward. They just stand frozen. If that was true, this wasn't an accident. This was attempted murder. Another online post added fuel to the fire. A user claimed the companion had brought a bottle of kerosene to the café, intending only to scare Tang, but lost control of the situation. The post questioned why no one tried to save her if it truly was an accident. That theory spread rapidly until the account suddenly apologized and claimed it had spread false information. The username changed. The post disappeared, and once again people noticed. Why did accusations vanish so quickly? Not everyone believed the witnesses. Some users argued that people were lying for attention. Others said the testimonies were planted to stir drama. With posts being deleted and retracted, it became impossible to know what was true and what was fear-driven rumor. But one question remained. Who was the woman with Tang that night? Her identity was never officially revealed. She never gave an interview. She never publicly defended herself. 4 weeks, she remained a ghost. Then online investigators began searching. They dug through fan accounts, social media photos, and idol fan forums. One post claimed the companion was not a random friend but a top fan, someone who had spent years following Tang, supporting her, and gaining access to her personal life. That claim shocked people. Because if the companion wasn't a stranger, and if she had a motive, then the truth might be closer than anyone realized. In the next part, internet detectives believe they identified the mysterious companion, and what they uncovered about her background raises a terrifying question. Was this case ruled an accident because someone powerful protected her? As eyewitness stories spread, internet users became obsessed with one question. Who was the woman sitting with Tang Anqi that night? Police never released her name. She never spoke publicly. She vanished. That silence made people suspicious. Soon, online investigators began digging through fan forums and social media. One anonymous post claimed the mysterious companion wasn't just a friend, but a top fan of Tang Anqi. Someone deeply involved in her fan club. Someone who had spent large amounts of money supporting her. The post pointed to a specific account and suggested the woman's name was Tianyu. Photos surfaced showing her attending events, posing with Tang, and interacting with other fans. It looked like she had close access to the idol. Then came the most shocking claim. According to the post, Tianyu's father was allegedly a high-ranking official connected to Shanghai's public security system. If that was true, it could explain everything. Why the investigation stalled? Why no suspect was charged? Why the case was rushed to an accident conclusion? It sounded like the plot of a thriller movie. But then, Tianyu came forward. She denied everything. She said she was not at the cafe that night. She said she had nothing to do with the incident. She claimed she only spoke up because she had been harassed online. She insisted she was a victim of mistaken identity. Was she telling the truth? Or was this damage control? Things became even more chaotic when other idols were wrongly accused. One SNH48 member was suspected simply because of a typo in a social media post. That rumor was proven false, but it showed how desperate people were for answers. With no confirmed identity of the companion, the case remained frozen. Meanwhile, another theory emerged, one that explained the argument that night. Some speculated that Tang Anqi and the companion were more than friends, that they were secretly in a romantic relationship. When Tang allegedly wanted to leave or pursue someone else, the argument turned emotional and then violent. But this was never proven. No text messages, no confession, no official confirmation, only rumors. Police stuck to their original conclusion. Tang Anqi burned herself by accident while playing with a lighter. No suspect, no arrest, no further investigation. And because Tang Anqi was still in intensive care, They said they could not continue questioning until she recovered. Weeks passed. Tang underwent painful surgeries, skin grafts on her face, arms, and legs. Doctors warned she might never return to a normal life, let alone a stage career. When she finally regained consciousness, her first question wasn't about the fire. It was about her face. Will I be disfigured? Her mother reportedly collapsed in tears beside her hospital bed. Fans kept pushing for answers, but each time, the response was the same. It was an accident. Stop asking questions. And yet, too many details still didn't make sense. In the next part, Tang Anqi finally speaks for herself. And what she says shocks everyone. Was she telling the truth? Or was she being forced to protect someone else? 4 months after the fire, Tang Anqi remained in and out of surgery. Skin grafts were taken from different parts of her body and placed on her face, arms, and legs. Doctors warned her family that daily life would be difficult and returning to the entertainment industry might be impossible. When she finally left intensive care, she recorded a short audio message for her fans. Her voice sounded weak but grateful. She thanked them for donating blood, raising money, and praying for her recovery. But she said nothing about what really happened in the café. Fans waited. They believed that once she recovered enough to speak publicly, the truth would finally come out. Then, more than a year later, Tang Anqi posted a statement online. She said the fire was an accident. She said no one else was responsible. She asked people to stop investigating and stop spreading rumors. Just like that, the mystery seemed over. Many fans were relieved. They wanted to believe her. After everything she had been through, maybe she just wanted peace. Maybe she didn't want to relive that night again. But others felt uneasy because her statement raised new questions instead of answering old ones. Why did police originally describe the incident as being set on fire after an argument? Why did witnesses describe liquid being poured on her? Why did scientific tests show the lighter theory didn't make sense? Why were articles deleted? Why was the companion never identified? And now, why was Tang Anqi asking everyone to stop looking? Some people believed she was protecting herself. Others believed she was protecting someone else. In idol culture, pressure doesn't just come from fans. It comes from companies, contracts, and powerful connections. Tang's career was already over. Speaking out could only bring trouble. Not long after her statement, SNH48 quietly ended her contract. There was no dramatic farewell concert, no big announcement, just a short notice. Her dream of being on stage ended without applause. Over time, Tang Anqi disappeared from the public eye. She was occasionally seen with former teammates, smiling in small group photos. She seemed to be rebuilding a private life far from fame. Physically, she survived. Emotionally, no one knew. And legally, nothing happened. No arrests, no trials, no charges. The case remained officially classified as an accident, but the doubts never faded, because fire follows rules. And that night, the fire broke them. A lighter shouldn't burn someone that fast. A spill shouldn't destroy a body in seconds. A fight shouldn't end with silence and blind spots. If this was truly an accident, then it was one of the most extreme accidents imaginable. And if it wasn't, then someone walked away free. In the next part, we'll break down the final unanswered questions. The blind spot, the experiments, the missing companion, and the silence. Was Tang Anqi's statement the truth, or the last piece of a cover-up? Years passed, but the questions never truly disappeared. Online, people continued to analyze every detail of the case, not out of curiosity alone, but because the official explanation still felt impossible. Let's go back to the fire itself. According to police, the flames came from spilled lighter fluid. But fire experts and everyday people alike pointed out something simple. Lighter fuel evaporates quickly and usually burns in small bursts. It doesn't normally turn a person into a human torch within seconds. Even state-run TV experiments show that similar clothing did not ignite rapidly. The fabric burned slowly. There was time to react. But Tang Anqi didn't have time. Witnesses described her body being engulfed almost instantly. That difference matters. Then there was the camera blind spot. Out of an entire café, the argument just happened to occur in the one place without footage. No video of the fight. No video of the moment of ignition. Only shaky clips of the aftermath. Another mystery was the companion. In idol fandoms, top supporters usually know each other well. They recognize faces, names, spending habits, and social circles. Yet somehow, no one could officially identify the woman who was with Tang Anqi that night. Not management, not police, not the public. If she was just a random friend, why disappear? If she was innocent, why not speak? Silence became its own evidence. Then there was Tang Anqi's own statement. She said it was an accident. But people asked, did she say it freely? After months in hospital, multiple surgeries, and the end of her career, she had every reason to avoid conflict. Speaking out could have brought legal battles, media pressure, and even danger. In some cases, silence is safer than truth. Fans noticed another strange pattern. Articles questioning the official story kept being removed. Videos vanished. Accounts changed usernames. Accusers apologized. Witnesses disappeared from the internet. Everything that challenged the accident theory faded. And yet, the rumors never fully died. One theory suggested the companion had strong connections and could influence the investigation. Another said the argument was emotional and personal. A third claimed it was a tragic accident twisted into something sinister by the internet. Which one was real? No one could prove anything. By 2020, Tang Anqi's contract was officially terminated. Her idol career ended quietly, without scandal or spotlight. She had become a private citizen, living far from the fame she once chased. But the case stayed frozen in time. A young woman burned. A mystery woman vanished. An investigation ended early. And the world was told to move on. Yet the simplest question remained. How does a person catch fire like that? In a cafe? From a lighter? Maybe it truly was a freak accident. Or maybe the truth was too dangerous to touch. In the final part, we'll put everything together. The witnesses, the science, the silence, and Tang Anqi's words. So you decide, was this a tragic accident? Or did someone get away with attempted murder? When all the pieces are laid out, this case feels less like an accident and more like a story full of missing pages. On one side, there's the official version. Tang Anqi spilled lighter fluid on herself and caught fire by mistake. A tragic, rare, and horrifying accident. The police closed the case. Her company supported that conclusion. And eventually, Tang herself repeated it. On the other side, there's everything that doesn't fit. There are witnesses who said a liquid was poured on her. There are experiments showing a lighter couldn't cause such instant, total flames. There is the blind spot where no camera could see. There is the companion who vanished and was never identified. And there is the deleted evidence, articles, posts, and accusations that quietly disappeared. If this was truly an accident, it was one of the most extreme accidents ever recorded in a public place. But if it wasn't, then this was attempted murder that was never punished. Tang Anqi lost her dream that night. She never returned to the stage she worked so hard to reach. Her contract ended quietly. No farewell performance. No closure. Just silence. She survived, but at a cost. And maybe that cost explains her final statement. Maybe saying it was an accident was the only way to move forward. Maybe reopening the case would have meant reliving the pain, fighting powerful people, or risking her safety. Or maybe she truly believed it was an accident. That's the hardest part, because the only person who knows the full truth is the one who suffered the most. And she chose silence. So what are we left with? A fire that broke the rules of science. A suspect who was never named. A case that ended too neatly. And a young woman whose future was taken away. Some people say this was internet paranoia. Others say it was a cover-up. Most just feel unsettled, because accidents usually leave evidence. And this case leaves only questions. Was the argument that night just words? Or the start of something violent? Did someone act out of jealousy, rage, or obsession, and then disappear behind influence and power? Or was this truly the most tragic coincidence imaginable? We may never get an official answer, but stories like this matter because they remind us how easily truth can burn away, just like paper and fire. And somewhere out there, the person who was with Tang Anqi that night knows exactly what happened. Now it's your turn. Do you believe this was a tragic accident, or a crime that was quietly buried? Comment your theory below, and tell me what you think really happened.